Happy Thursday. Okay, so today we're going to take notes a little differently. You're going to turn to page 15 in your assignment packet. So it's going to seem kind of weird because we're technically doing one of your assignments, but I think this does a better job than your note packet does. Today, the main thing that we're going to focus on is slope-intercept form of a line or in the equation and how that works. So slope-intercept form, for those who don't remember, I know you did this in Algebra 1, I know because I'm basically teaching it right now to them, is y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope, which you did yesterday, and b is the y-intercept, where the y, or where your line is crossing the y-axis. So what you're going to have to do today is taking a look at a graph. We're going to review a little bit of how to write the equation of a graph in slope-intercept form. So in order to write something in slope-intercept form, you need a slope and you need a y-intercept. So we need the slope and we need the y-intercept. When I'm writing my equations, I always start with the y-intercept. So I always start with this point right here. The y-intercept is a number. We don't have to actually represent it as like a coordinate. So from 0, 0, I go 1, 2, 3 down. Down is a negative direction. So your y-intercept is negative 3 because I went down 3. Now for the slope, they give us 2 points here. So I'm going to count rise over run. So from my y-intercept, I go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So up 4. And then 1, 2 to the right. Up 4 is a positive direction. Right is a positive direction. And then I reduce that. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So my m is 2. My b is negative 3. So when I write my equation, it's y equals m. So 2x. Don't forget the x. Everyone wants to forget the x. 2x. And then you just put the b on the end. Minus 3. And that's your equation. I'm going to do a couple more. Might seem a little quick, but just to kind of go through them. Number 2 here. Again, we're going to need to figure out our m and the b. So I always start with b. You begin with b. So here is my y-intercept. From 0, 0, I go 1, 2 down. So negative 2. And then to get to the other point, I go 1, 2, 3, 4 up. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Up 4, that's positive. Left 5 is negative. Left is a negative direction. This can't be reduced, so that's my slope. That's my y-intercept. So to write the equation, it's y equals negative 4/5 x minus 2. Now the negative sign can go out front, up top, or on the bottom. It just can't go with both of them. Pick one, you can't have both. I think that I'm going to do one more. I'll do number 4 for you. This one just has a y-intercept of 0, so it's gonna be the same idea. This one I'll just do real quick. I'll point you as well. This one, the y-intercept, it doesn't move. So your y-intercept is 0. To get to the slope, you go down 1. And then 1, 2, 3 to the right. Down is a negative direction. Right is a positive. So there's your slope, and it can't be reduced. So we have y equals negative 1/3 x. Don't forget the x. And then the y-intercept is plus 0. So if you don't want to put the plus 0, you could just put y equals negative 1/3 x. Both of those are totally fine, and they will be okay on Go Formative. For number 4, last one with the graphs, because the graphs are usually the ones that are a little bit more difficult. Your m and b. Here is my y-intercept. From 0, 0, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 up. So that's a positive direction. And then to get to the other point, I go 1, 2, 3 down. And then 1, 2, 3 to the left. Down is a negative direction. Left is a negative direction. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is a positive 1. So your slope is actually 1. And if you look here from left to right, your graph is going up. So that's why it's positive. So your equation is y equals 1x plus 4, or instead of putting the 1, if you just put x, we know there's a 1 in front of it. So either one of those would be totally fine in Go Formative as well. So that is one of the things that you're going to be doing today, finding the equations from graphs. The other thing is you're going to be taking an equation in what's called the standard form, and you're going to be transforming it into slope-intercept form. So there's not a lot of like math really you're doing today, no adding or subtracting really. You're just kind of manipulating the equations. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. And your ultimate goal is going to be to get it into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to talk you through the steps that you're going to do for every single one of these, and you literally do the same thing every single time. First thing that you do is you move the x's. Usually you're going to subtract them over. It's usually subtraction. After you move your x's, then you're going to divide by, I'm not gonna have room. Divide by what's in front of y. So you're going to move your x's by subtracting. After you move those, and you don't actually subtract them, and that's what's kind of weird. After you move them, then you're going to divide by whatever's in front of y. So let me show you number 7 here. I'll switch colors because I don't want that pink to run together. So for number 7, step 1, move your x's. So we need to get the x's to the other side, and we're going to move them by doing the opposite operation and subtracting. So we subtract them, and we get y equals, you want this in slope-intercept form, so this x needs to stay out front. So negative x plus 6. And then at this point, if there was a number in front of the y's, we would divide by it. There's nothing, I mean, there's a 1, but you're not going to divide by it. So in this case, we would be done. So you're going to leave it like that today. Whatever you get, once y is by itself, leave it. Let me show you number 8. That will be a better example. So step 1, move your x's. Subtract your 5x. Now, you're not actually subtracting. Like, we're not going to do negative 2 minus 5 because they're not like terms. Bring down the 2y equals, you write this as negative 5x minus 2. So we moved our x's. Now you're going to divide every single term by whatever is in front of y. So y has a positive 2 in front of it. So we're going to divide every single thing by 2. So then I end up with y equals negative 5 over 2 cannot be reduced. So we're going to leave that as negative 5 over 2 x, and that's the slope. So you kind of want that as a fraction because it's rise over run. And then you do negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. I'll probably just do one more to that way it kind of gets the point across. And you can always rewind if you need to. So number 9, step 1, move your x's. So I'm going to subtract 2x. But again, remember, you're not really subtracting 2x. Now, this 4 is negative, so you need to make sure you have negative 4y equals negative 2x plus 28. After you move your x's, now you're going to divide by whatever's in front of y. So we're dividing everything by negative 4. So then you get y equals negative 2 over negative 4. Negative divided by a negative is a positive. 2 over 4 reduces to 1 over 2. So you need to make sure not only are you paying attention to your positives and negatives, but you're also reducing those fractions as much as possible. It will mark it wrong, and you'll see me type in Go Formative reduce. Then you put the x, and then here we have a positive 28 divided by a negative 4 is negative 7. So I hope that's enough. I'll kind of keep an eye on you guys today, and if I start seeing some issues, I'll go over a couple of more. Your assignment is actually going to be still within this packet. It's page 18, and as you can see, they look very similar. Like, here's the notes, there's the assignment. So as long as you continue those steps for like moving things along, finding the y-intercept and the slope, you should be good to go today. And you don't have a very long assignment, but we do know that they take a little bit. So your assignment's on page 18. It's also in Go Formative, so please make sure you head on over there, type your answers in. Any fractions, you will have to hit that keyboard. So good luck, and I'll be watching you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm so excited.